Assalamu alaikum, good morning, and welcome to Loose Sisters, the show where real talk meets real life with laughter, honesty, and a little bit of sass. Now, I'm your host, Alvina Ali, and I'm so excited to be back with you this Sunday morning in the month of Ramadan. Now, as you know, you are listening on DAB radio with Iman One, and we're also live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So, however you're tuning in, thank you for spending the next hour and a half with us. So, today we've got a brilliant panel, some powerful conversations, a fun game that might reveal a little bit too much, and of course, your listener questions. That's if you're brave enough. So pop them through to us. Give us a call anytime during the show on 01902 972 150 or drop us a text on 07 440 420 432. So let me introduce you to today's fabulous panel. I've got two of the three here at the moment, but one I know will always make a last dramatic entrance. And I think you all know who it is. But first up, she delivers wisdom like she delivers babies with calm, care, and absolute professionalism. Now, if you need life advice or a reality check, she's your woman. So give a big shout out to our lovely panel member. It's Sunita Banga.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me back this year. It really is a pleasure to be here again. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunita. It's a pleasure having you as always on the show. Right, okay, and keeping us balanced with that cool, calm, sportsman energy. Whether it's teamwork or tough conversations, he's ready. And it's the one and only Zahid Shah.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum and good morning. Thank you, Alvina. Been excited to come on board on your show. You are the expert, aren't you?
Oh, nice to know. Nice to know. I'm still learning, I've got to say, you know. I have apologies from our lovely Iram. She's unable to attend today due to unforeseen circumstances, but I'm sure she's going to be definitely missed. So I look forward to having her in future shows. Right, I think it's about time. Before I kick into the topic, is there anything you would like to add to the intros?
No, mine was good. Thank you.
Okay, Zahid, you're happy with yours?
Yeah, completely happy, yeah.
Yeah, okay, lovely. So let's go straight into our first topic then. Now, we're nearly 2 months into 2026. So be honest, are we still smashing goals or just trying to remember what goals those were that we've set ourselves? Now, I feel personally that January is the longest month ever. We go in full of motivation and come out just trying to remember what day it is. So let's talk about real life versus expectations. Now, talking about expectations, look who walks in. It's the one and only Farida Khalifa. Wa alaikum salam.
Assalam.
Do you want to settle yourself in, put your headphones on, Farida? So while you're doing that, I am going to do an introduction. So as you know, our latecomer has made a dramatic entrance, bringing glam, energy, and a little bit of sparkle wherever she goes. She can go from influencer mode to real talk in seconds, of course. Our one and only Farida Khalifa. Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alhamdulillah. Ramadan's here.
Ramadan's here. And can you just get that's right?
Yeah.
So we can hear you loud and clear.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Ramadan is here.
It is. And are you all ready and prepped and prepared?
Oh, I love it. I love this time of the year. It's my absolute favourite.
I love the coat.
I told you she makes a dramatic entrance.
I'm nicking that at the end of this show.
Right, okay. So, Farida, do you want to add anything to the intro before we begin the topic?
Hello, everybody. Nice to be back. Last year we had a great show.
We did, yeah.
And I was very, very keen to come back this year and spread some words of wisdom.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Right. Okay. Now, as you know, Farida, I had introduced a topic. So just for you, we're going to go into New Year reset versus reality. I was just saying that we're nearly 2 months into the year now. And all of us have set our own goals. Most of us might have smashed them. Most of our goals might have fallen off. So personally, I feel that January is the longest month of the year. And, you know, we go in with full of motivation and we come out just trying to remember sometimes what day it is. So let's talk about real life versus expectation. So, panel, do we put too much pressure on ourselves at the start of the year?
Well, I'd like to add some controversy to this topic because I'll be honest, I never ever celebrate the New Year
Okay.
because I go by the Islamic year. So I honestly, the normal, when New Year's Day starts, all of that, I really don't celebrate it. It's for me, I'm always looking at the Islamic calendar
Yes.
and thinking, right, okay, now this is the time of the year for us Muslims, and this is the time of the year. And to be honest, I always have lived life for live for today because tomorrow's not promised. So therefore, I never really plan in advance. Although obviously we do have goals, and I'm always on focus.
Yeah.
Focused, and on target. But that's just my own general personality. I would say that's usually very organised.
That's good because, like I said, obviously you talked about the Islamic year, and I know we don't celebrate New Year's Day and stuff, but obviously, like I says, most of us at the beginning of the year we set certain goals for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, so talking from your perspective, then, Farida, you're talking about the Islamic New Year. So, do you reset your goals from the Islamic New Year, or you just go with the flow?
I just live for every day.
That's good.
Yeah. Tomorrow's not promised is my attitude, outlook in life.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Zahid?
Yes, I think that's a very good answer from Frida. Mine isn't the Islamic calendar, even though I follow the Islamic calendar, obviously with Muharram starting off here.
Yeah.
With all the work I've done in the past, in the last 20, 30 years, it's the financial calendar, isn't it? You know, April to April.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. So January's basically having a look at, we've got 2-3 months left in the financial calendar. Where are we going with our targets? Are we hitting targets? So Alhamdulillah, this year, I'm sort of smashing targets at work, and then I've got the Frida kind of thing where you live like you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You just get on with life, and you hope that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has got the best plan for you, really. Do you know what I mean? And that's it for me.
And Sunita.
Yeah, previously I used to make like the New Year's resolutions and try to have some targets. Again, never really followed through with them. I think when you plan like that and it's so pretentious almost because you set a date and you think, right, after today I'm not going to do X, Y, Z, you can't stick to it. Last couple of years I haven't bothered at all, like Farida. I just think, you know what, just be a good person.
Yeah, well, like the outlook is we plan and then Allah plans or God plans.
Absolutely.
So
things change, don't they?
absolutely. And that's happened many a times for myself. So I always go by, just live for today. Just don't stress. Remain focused. I think that's so important, especially for financial goals. Really, really important.
Right.
Focus.
Okay, so obviously we've talked about failure, and once you find that your targets or your goals aren't being met, how do you go about resetting yourself?
Plan B. There's always got to be a plan B.
Yeah.
I think you can't hang everything up in one go. So if something doesn't work out, it's okay. That's life. Things happen. And like you said, God's sometimes got another plan. So, if we need to reset and then go down a different road, that's okay.
Lovely. Great. Okay. So obviously, I just want to know from you guys, what sort of realistic habits then actually stick for yourselves once you've set your potential goals,
It's
or whether you're just going with the flow.
it depends on the goals. I mean, if it's work goals or business goals, yeah, then what you do is you're a bit autistic. You do things, it's almost all exactly the same as you do every day. It's just family goals, isn't it? They change, don't they? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you got a wife and kids and grandkids and things like that. So those goals are changing every day because you don't know what's going to happen, do you? Do you know what I mean? If you've got a young one who's not well, right, or something like that, it's a bit of a silly example, but you
It's
change
reality.
It's reality.
Yeah.
You change your goals, don't you? You might have a plan to go to London on business, and then somebody's unwell, and you've got to stay at home, and you've got to call in, and everything's changed, hasn't it? Really?
Definitely. Okay, so I always think personally myself that progress is better than perfection, as always. Now, obviously, small wins, they do count just as much. So I think, like Farida said, and like many of you saying, that it's best to go with the flow on a day-to-day basis, not set some realistic targets, but I know at times we have to set something like a little goal maybe to say next year I'm going to do this and I'm going to plan it in so and so month. It's a bit like Iman 1. As you know, we've transitioned over from Radio Ramadan Wolves. And again, you have to look into the future to make certain things happen. So that's just one example from myself. But on that note, what I'm going to do is obviously for people who have just tuned in and they don't know much about Iman 1, they don't know anything about Loose Sisters, what the show is all about, I'm going to get you, the team, today to talk about yourselves a bit, just to let people know exactly what your job roles are, what you do, and then hopefully they'll understand where your answers are coming from as well. Okay, so we'll start off with Zahid Shah then, first of all.
What do you want to know about my career?
Yes, yeah, just a little brief discussion.
Roll out your CV, Zahid.
Yeah. Yeah, my CV is first of all, I'm a slave to the boss at home.
I love that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Right.
Priorities.
If there's any men out there trying to say, yeah, I'm not like that, yeah, you better wake up, man, because you know the bosses. Right. So that's that, and I'm a qualified maths teacher and a trainer. So what I do is do a lot of maths tuition, and I do a lot of training. And my previous background has been in sales, so more specifically pharmaceutical sales. So I've done that for about 25 odd years, and claim to fame. Am I allowed to mention that?
Go on.
The first Muslim counsellor in the history of Wolverhampton.
Hey, well done, you.
I set the way for all the others, Sohail Khans, the Ubaid Ahmeds, and Faisal Azims. So a bit of a claim to fame there.
Well done.
Brilliant.
Right, Farida, come on.
Oh,
Where do we start?
She's like me. She's Jacqueline of all trades.
Can I ask you a question? Am I allowed to?
Yeah, yeah.
Where you get that coat from, man?
TikTok shop.
Oh, is it? Okay.
That's one of my jobs. I'm an affiliate, for TikTok shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right. So, my background is, first of all, childcare. That's where I started when I was about 16 years old. And, I've worked abroad as a holiday rep, which is very unusual. I broke a few rules as far as Islam goes. And, as I was sort of finding myself. However, I'm proud that I became a holiday rep because, like I say, your biggest growth is when you travel, and it makes you appreciate diversity and, cultures. And, so that's where I started. Then I've worked in health and social care. I've worked in schools. I've worked with children with additional needs, supported health visitors on the community, done sort of play therapy. Worked with children from the care sector. So currently I actually support adults with additional needs, and I absolutely love that because I see it as a bit of a sadqa jariyah, yeah. So it's not the best paying, but it's extremely rewarding. Well, because people say to me, "Okay, Farida, you've done quite a lot." You know, been on TV and that. You know, I'm an affiliate marketer for TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
I also do hair and makeup I've done it for the traveller and gypsy community. I've done henna, nails, all that over the years. But people say to me, how come you went into working with the adults? Now, I find it extremely rewarding,
Yeah.
especially those that have got additional needs, you know, all these different conditions, and making sure they're living their best life. It is so rewarding. And I'm planning for my Akira. I'm always, one of the things that is always on the back of my mind is when I die, I want to leave a legacy, but I also want to make sure I'm working towards my Akira is when I die.
Yeah.
I want to go to Jannah, heaven, meet my loved ones that are waiting.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, so that's where we're at.
Okay, lovely. And you also appeared on Big Brother, didn't you? So you appeared, I believe, in 2023 and 2025.
I went in as a secret housemate just recently
You did.
in November.
And what was that experience like then for you?
Oh my God, it was fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Ruffled a few feathers.
You definitely did.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was just brilliant. The fan base were incredible. But yeah, I've done Come Dine With Me, a bit of love cooking. Also done Blankety Blank.
Yes.
Yes.
Blankety blank.
Blankety Blank. Blankety Blank. Yeah, I've done quite a bit. And got a bit of a business social manager now. So, so watch this space.
Yes, let's give a big shout out to your business manager. Can I mention him by name?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ross.
Yeah,
This
Ross
wouldn't have
Sykes.
happened if it wasn't for Ross. Frida wouldn't have been here. So now we
Ross,
have
I'm looking for an agent as well now.
So
Our
thank you,
manager.
Frida. Thank you for the introduction. And our lovely Sunita.
Oh, that's amazing, Farida. How can I follow that? So, I'm born and bred in Wolverhampton. I'm a shopkeeper's daughter. Grew up in the shop. Went to university, did my nursing. So, I was a nurse for about 3 years in the emergency department. Then I did my midwifery. I've been a midwife for 20 years now, over 20 years. And I just love what I do. And it's not all just about the delivery room and delivering babies. It's that relationship that you build with the family, really.
Yes, yeah.
Some women come back and they have second, third, more children with us. And you really do get to know the family. My recent role at the moment, so for the last three and a half years, I've been the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion Lead Midwife at Royal Wolverhampton Hospital. And I absolutely love that because I really do get to help and support people even more. So it is working a lot with interpreters and working with people with language barriers, asylum seekers, real deprivation in Wolverhampton. Nothing to do with work, but I've set up my own baby bank to help support these women that I do look after. And I just absolutely enjoy what I do. So I've got 3 children of my own and I'm just a really, really busy mum, a midwife.
Right, excellent.
That's
Now, it's interesting to hear that you've set your own baby bank. How did that idea come about then?
I think in my role, you just see real deprivation. I saw lots of deprivation in Birmingham when I worked there for 16 years. I felt like they had a few more facilities and baby banks that we could call on. When I came to Wolverhampton, we didn't have as many, so I literally just had my son anyway. When he was 1 year old, when I started working at New Cross, and one of the mums that I met, she just didn't have a Moses basket, and I thought, oh, it's all right, I've got one at home. So I started giving my own things away. As it is, when you're of that age and you've got your child, your siblings around, you've often got children, friends and family. So then I started to say to my sisters, they were also having children, oh, when you don't need your things anymore, pass them on, and I'll pass them on to mums that I see at work. That's how it kind of started, and it's just snowballed, really. It's escalated, so then it grew. I started up my baby bank. It's called Sharing is Caring. It's on Facebook.
Okay.
I've only run it on Facebook because it's manageable for me. So I run it all from my home. My husband, bless him, has built me a stock room, really, literally. It's just an old garage, a shed rather.
Yeah.
So in there, I've got everything in big plastic bins. So everything that comes in, clothes. I've got Moses baskets in there, baby baths. Occasionally car seats, prams, they're harder to come by, but I do stock them. So literally when I get a referral, so I've set up a whole network where health professionals refer in to me. So if they need
It's
they'll
really
just
good.
let me know. They'll just
That's
say, we've got a
fantastic.
lady, she needs a Moses basket. And if I've got one, I'll give it out. If I haven't, I just use the Facebook group and I'll just put a post on there saying Moses basket needed. And everybody knows
And
who I
then,
am.
do
what I'm
they
doing.
return them once they've done with them?
Do you know what? I need to get better at that because I tend to give everything out.
Yeah.
And I don't really get the same, like the Moses baskets, I could really do with them coming back to me. So I do
Yeah.
need to get better at that. It's a really
Yeah.
good idea, Farida. I need to work on that.
I used to work supporting the health visitors for 4
Okay.
years.
Yeah.
So we used to see all the postnatal mothers,
Mums,
and
yeah.
so I know exactly
Yeah.
the demands. Yeah, but that's a great idea.
Thank
Excellent.
you. So I've been running that for the last nearly 5 years now.
Yeah.
But it kind of runs itself. I'm really strict with the donations that I get in, and I've got a referral process, so I know exactly who needs what, who's getting what at what stage.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of organised chaos, but it's working well.
Excellent. Well, this is what Iman One is all about, is informing the community of all the services that are available within Wolverhampton. And that's why I thought I might as well do an introduction from all of you to see exactly how you can relate to our listeners. And talking about relating to listeners as well, just want to let everybody know that Zahid Shah has got his own show, as well as Sunita this year. So congratulations. And just for Frida, can you update her what your shows are about and for our listeners as well, so that we can get that listenership in?
Yeah.
So Sunita, you want to start?
Yeah, so we did Maternity Matters. We did our first show this week just gone.
Yeah.
And I brought in one of our public health specialist midwives. Her name's Amanda Costello. And she came in and we were talking to the radio, the community, about what we offer in maternity. So we were looking at vaccines, we were talking about the Healthy Start vitamins, what support is available. We do lots of events in pregnancy. I run 2 events, Amanda runs 2. So roughly, you know, as a trust, we're able to offer some sort of pregnancy event every 3 to 4 months. Amanda's next one is in April. I haven't set the date for my next one at the moment, but we just try and help pregnant women, really make sure that everyone's got the correct advice,
Yeah.
up-to-date information of what's available, the reasons that we recommend vaccines or multivitamins, the infant feeding advice. Just make sure that you know exactly what is available, what the offer is, and then you decide what you want to do.
Excellent. Okay, so again, that's Sunita. Then Zahid.
Yeah, we've got a show called Z Squared where the reason why it's Z Squared is because I'm Zahid Shah and Alvina's brother Zahid Ali. And what we do is on Thursday, 3 till 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
We just talk about sports, and then from sport we'll go and talk about anything worldwide, you know, that's happening. And it's good. You know, we both rub off each other quite well, don't we?
You
So,
do, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just basic, decent, nice show. Hopefully we get a few more views this week because we had a bit of a, you know, sort of miscommunication, didn't we? On the
we
timings
did,
last
yes,
week.
Yeah. That's part of the process.
Yeah, it's okay. But to be fair with you, I love working with Zahid because he's pretty cool, isn't he? You know,
Very calm and relaxed.
very
isn't
calm. Yeah, very
Yeah.
calm guy. Not like me.
he? Right. Okay. So before we go into the break, we will touch on Farida in a minute as well. And just to remind you, you can call in, guys. Don't be shy. Give us a call on 01902 972 150 or drop us a text on 07440 420 432. Like I said, we will be coming back straight after the break and we're going to carry on with some more topics and discussions. And at the same time, you will get to find out about the panel and what they love and what they hate. And I might even drop in a little game to just sparkle things up a bit. What do you think, guys? Are you ready for that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Anyway, we'll go for a break and we shall see you very shortly. Hello and welcome back to Lou Sisters. If you've just tuned in, you are listening to us on Iman 1 on DAB radio, and also you can listen to us live streaming on Facebook and YouTube as well. Joining me in the studio today, I've got Zahid Shah, who's a loose brother on Loose Sisters. And I've got the lovely Farida, who's our main entertainer, on the panel. And also I've got Sunita Banga as well. Right, now, if you want to get in touch and give us a call or drop us a text message, you can do. It could be about anything. It could be about our discussions or topics that we're talking about on Iman 1 on the Loose Sisters show. So give us a call on 01902 972 150 or drop us a text on 07 440 420 432. Now, we were talking just before the break about everyone's roles and what they are doing. We're just going to quickly pop over to the lovely Farida to follow on before we end that subject matter. So, Farida, back over to you then, because I think you surprised Zahid by being on TV. Haven't you?
I am. I can see.
Zahid, are you telling me you're not one of my fans?
I am now. But
I
like,
am disappointed. I made him give me a follow.
Yeah, I know. I've seen you two going on to TikTok and following each other.
Listen. I tell you what. I can see she's done well on Big Brother.
Yes.
I need to go back now on you. Can I get it on YouTube?
TikTok. Oh, I'm all over the shop when it comes to YouTube.
Yeah.
Farida Khalifa on Google. She's everywhere.
Were you?
It's all these fans that create edits. I'm not even joking.
Oh, can I just say something?
Yeah, go on.
Somebody has set up an account. I've only got 1,400 followers. Yeah. Somebody set up an account with my photo on there. And they got nearly 10,000 followers, and I've only got 1,400.
Well, the thing is, you've got to remember that people buy followers, likes,
okay.
and things like that, don't they?
Mine are all legit, let me tell you.
I know.
I don't know.
But
I'm not buying anything for anything.
I haven't bought anything either. But
Okay, before we talk about all that, that's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
our next subject matter. So quickly on to Frida then.
What was the question?
So, sorry, does anybody want to remind Frida?
I was slightly distracted by Zahid.
Let's blame him. Right, okay, so we're just like letting all the listeners know exactly what we do outside of the circle of Iman 1. So obviously you're a celebrity in yourself, aren't you? And you've been on Facebook and stuff. Is there anything you want to add? I know you also do a lot of social work as well, don't you?
Well, I've worked in health and social care. I mean, I'm everybody's best friend, somebody's nanny, somebody's auntie, somebody's mother.
Yeah.
I don't have any children of my own,
Yeah.
but I feel like you don't have to have children to play that role. And
Yes.
A lot of people have a lot of respect for me, and I appreciate that. And that's of all ages.
Yeah. Now, we also talked about Frida, Zahid having a show of his own, and also Sunita. What's the potential of you having a show on Iman 1?
Well, watch this space.
Yes, watch this space, because I tell you what, we are working on something, aren't we, Farida?
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's sort of get back into the topic of discussion. Now, we are going to be talking about social media, the highlight reel of life, I would call it. Now, obviously, on here, perfect homes, perfect routines, perfect skin. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to keep my plants alive, never mind being on social media. Now, it's so easy now to compare ourselves, but we're usually seeing someone's best moments, not the messy kitchen or the 10 takes before the selfie. So, panel, does social media inspire us or quietly make us feel like we're falling behind? Now, I know I've got two great social media experts in the panel, so maybe Sunita and myself can learn from this. So what's your take then, Farida?
I think social media is a brilliant tool if it's used the right way. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Although I do love the old days. It's really weird, isn't it? I've just had this initial thought, and that's, I just feel like, although now that we have social media and the world is all connected, there's very little social interaction in real life.
Yeah, you're right there.
Like, people don't go for sleepovers, or people don't hardly see each other. They're all stuck on their devices. And I had a few months of trying to do TikTok shop sort of full time.
Yeah.
This was early part of last year, and oh my word, it was so depressive. Being stuck on that computer. I'm all about living your best life and working your passion. And I decided I needed to step away from social media and do it sort of not, part-time, sort of as and when I want to, rather than feeling I had to.
Yeah.
And I think people that, they just sort of, just money. They're just driven by the financial aspect of social media, can lose themselves. And then before they know it, it affects their mental health. Before they know it, time is something you just can't get back. And it's working out, being sensible and kind to yourself, really.
Yeah.
And I think not everybody is strong enough to have that balance of being able to step aside and say, actually, money isn't everything. Yes, it helps, but you really do need to strike that balance when it comes to...
Talking about balance, Farida, how do you find the time? Because, one, I know you're working, and also you do the social media aspect of things, and also being a celebrity. How do you find that balance?
You have to be, sometimes even if you got opportunities, celebrity kind of opportunities, you have to say no if it doesn't align with you.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I would never sell myself for anybody. No way. You can give me all the money in the world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think it's just sort of living, live what makes you happy, living your best life. And I just have to sort of, balance it.
What would you say about these people then who on social media portray the sort of lifestyle that they're living, but that particular person isn't the way they're portraying themselves on social media? I mean,
Yeah.
what would you say that why are people selling themselves as if they're, like living the life of a celebrity, shall I say? Perfect home, perfect lifestyle, but really there might be from
Suffering with their mental health.
could be
Or from a very working class background.
Yes, that's
But they portray, or even down to filters, looking a
Yes.
certain aesthetic with clear skin when really
Yes.
they've got bumps and lumps and...
yeah. So why do people do that?
Well,
Why?
they need validation, don't they? They really do.
Key point. Yes.
Validation. Whereas I'm one of these, I just live my authentic self, authentic
good.
life. And I think that's why my BB experience was as good as it was, because people actually do appreciate authenticity. And usually people that live that kind of a life, they tend to get trolled more.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really feel like I get trolled, and I think it's because, I say it as it is. I am very, straight to the point, kind of.
I've seen a lot of obviously I'm not like that social media sort of a person, but when I go onto TikTok, I see loads of people. You talked about trolls. How do you sort of overcome that? With all the comments, the slurs that are coming through.
Well, I'll be honest, right? Initially, because I've worked in health and social care, it's all about working with people with behaviours and psychology and things like that. So I wouldn't give them any attention.
Great point.
And eventually they start, when they don't get that attention that they're expecting, eventually it's kind of snowballs. If you give them the attention, they'll be drawn into it more. You'll have a battle ahead of you. Whereas if you just sort of ignore them or smother them with love, before you know it, they become your fans.
Yeah, that's true. That's
what happened to me. And I don't really have trolls, I'll be honest.
Well, a message for these trolls, really. You should never judge a book from its cover, should you?
I always say that I appreciate that, they're working the algorithm.
Yeah.
The more they're typing, the more you're earning.
Exactly.
Because it's a bit of a, because like, for example, for me, on my page, because I do TikTok shop as well, it's all about how much you work the algorithm. So every time you're live streaming, people are commenting, or it's working that algorithm.
helps
It's
grow, doesn't it?
everything works, yeah. And before you know it, you've made more sales on your
Yeah.
TikTok shop.
Well,
it's all,
long live these trolls then, eh?
they're
Yeah.
working for free.
Yeah, Zahid, you're also on social media. How do you find it? Do you find that people obviously are living a lifestyle that is not really them, or do you know anybody, particularly yourself?
Yeah, I do. I know Farida. Yeah, I know.
Well, you
I know-
only met her today.
yeah, but I know her now. Hanji Boom, Faisal Khan,
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes.
God.
100,000 followers.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. We'll
Oh,
touch.
God.
We will touch on that. We'll
I'm
touch.
sorry.
I know. We're
Don't
gonna.
give them any airtime,
I know.
please.
I'm gonna-
I'm totally against people that use foul language.
do you know what? Do you know what? I'll tell you what. Right.
Sorry, I missed something there. Who are we talking about?
No,
Fa-
we're not
fa-
giving them
Oh.
any airtime.
No.
Oh, airtime.
You know, Hanji Boom.
Oh, right. Okay.
No,
yeah.
I
So-
wasn't on about him. I was on about.
Yeah.
The sweet man.
Yes, yeah, the sweet man. So what it is what I did was initially, I'll tell you what my reason for having the Sunny Shah thing is, because as a cricketer, I played pro cricket back in the day. So my platform is Sunny Shah. It's purely because I'm trying to raise awareness of young South Asian talent across the UK. So I've started this.
Why just South Asian?
Okay, great question. We can't be controversial, can we? Okay, so I'm not going to be controversial. Basically, what it is, the South Asian. How you doing, Mikey? You good? The South Asians, they need, especially within cricket.
Forgotten, he's on the radio.
Especially within cricket. Frida, I'm not going to get. I won't be able to get a word in here. You know what I mean? Is that why you invited me? Into
Yes,
it?
I
Yeah.
have. Come on.
So the South Asian cricketers, they need a little bit of a lift.
Yeah.
Right, especially in the city. So what I've done is I go live every Tuesday and Thursday evening at 10 o'clock at Pickwick Paddle Centre in West Brom. You know the West Brom football ground is
Yes.
opposite there. They've
Yeah.
opened a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And people watch these lads playing, and then they'll basically they'll watch these lads playing. They actually have banter as well. And something you said, which was really valuable, was, you know, you get trolls and you get certain people sending messages, and they can be quite nasty as well. So what you do is you just gotta ignore it, and you've got to be positive. So if somebody says something negative, just turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
If you start arguing and fighting with everybody, you're not going to get anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and I like it, but there are pros and cons. Am I allowed to mention one of the negative things that have happened recently?
You can, but keep it.
No, it won't be. No, that's it. Just recently, what happened was one of the boys who was playing with us. He's a very, very talented young cricketer. Cut a long story short, a couple of guys decided that they could put a prank on us, and you know, our naivety, pretended to be cricket agents. Oh yeah. Contacted me on social media and said, look, we can help this guy get a contract. Alhamdulillah, you know, do you know Billionaire 2026? He's on TikTok quite a lot. He's got about 40,000 followers. He's a friend of mine, and I showed him the account. He did looked at it, bro, that's fake. I said, how did you know? So he educated me a little bit, yeah. And I went, oh my God. So I'd been played, but I was played, Frida.
You have to be very careful. There's a lot of scammers online, a lot of
Yeah.
hackers.
Absolutely. So I was played, and then what happened was, alhamdulillah, with the grace of God, it didn't get nasty. I found out who it was, and then we contacted the families and said, look, you know, and guess what? They were under 18.
Oh wow.
So it was under 18 young lads who were being very, very silly. But we rang them, and we found out we rang them and we educated their families just before they did something else a little bit silly. But yeah, I like it. But you know, it's got its pros and cons. And I think Farida said something really valuable, and a message out to everybody out there with what Farida just said is, you know, keep reality. Don't get, if you're going to go into TikTok or social media, don't put everything into it, because you've got a life as well. Do you know what I mean? Or otherwise, you're just cooped up in a room all day just by yourself, and you know, you're 50, 60, and you're a lonely old man or
Yeah.
lonely old woman. That's it.
I was going to say as well, obviously, with regards to social media, you touched on, and also Zahid, you touched on the fact that there are loads of fake accounts.
Yeah.
AI has a big part to play in this, and like you says, you can't tell if they're real accounts. But
Yeah.
how can you? Is there a way that you can find out? Is there a way that we can educate our listeners onto what to look out for?
Yeah, I think the one for me, there was the prank account had no followers, or one follower and one, sort of
So
trying
are
to.
these
No.
the sort of the catfish accounts, as people call them, where
Just fake
people
Yeah.
accounts.
make fake accounts and they just see what you're doing,
Abs-
and
abs-
and they could be potentially trollers.
Yeah, they are, and then there's certain things, and there's certain things that Frida and I are aware of on sort of TikTok, well, especially TikTok, where you can find out who's watching you all the time, can't you? Where on the share button, if you click onto it for a few seconds, then it'll give you your top 3 or 4 people that are actually following you. And sometimes they're legit. Sometimes like you're thinking, who's that? And I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of ways. But it's just, I think it's all about trying it, isn't it? And seeing and learning. But be mindful that
Yeah.
if you do a show, that people aren't using foul language on there and things like that.
Yeah.
The other thing about social media that I'm extremely, wary about, like, I will never put all my family out on
Never.
there. I will never put my wedding pictures up. People are very nosy, and
Yeah.
yes, it makes sales, but you see the biggest divorce rates happening with youngsters getting married, putting everything, the pressure,
It's the
and
black eye as well, isn't it?
exactly, like we in Islam we believe in evil eye, and I
Yes.
keep saying to people,
Absolutely.
I know you're in love, and I love my other half.
Yeah.
I'd love to put everything out
Yeah.
there, but I'm very, it's like a diamond that God has blessed us with, and we need to protect certain things.
Yes.
But people are very easy to just put out all their family,
Yeah.
everything out on social media, and it can be dangerous. So just be a bit mindful, be careful.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't like put mine and my husband's pictures up together on social media. I don't put my nephews. I don't put the people that I love the most. My page is specifically sort of a business page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
You've got to
you're
protect
right.
yourself.
Yeah, that's it.
You have to protect
Definitely.
yourself, don't you?
Do you want to add a bit more? I know you've been a bit
Yeah,
quiet
no, it's
listening in.
fine. I do use social media.
Yeah.
My Facebook is literally everybody on there. I know every single person on there, so it's just friends, family, colleagues.
That's good. Yeah.
I do use TikTok. I do TikToks in Punjabi, just explaining simple things about pregnancy. So
Yeah.
somebody will ask a question,
Yeah.
and I'll make a very short clip, just explain what they've asked. So I'll answer that question in Punjabi. I haven't got a massive following, but it's totally just professional, really.
Yeah.
Again, nothing to do with the trust that I work for. That's just something that I do in my own time. So often in the morning when I'm just getting my son ready for school, if somebody's asked me a question while he's having his breakfast, I've literally got a few minutes, so I'll just do a quick response in the evenings perhaps. But I tend not to get any haters or any trolling, to be honest, because I think I'm not harming anybody.
No.
And it's literally just I'm just answering a question.
Yours
So
is
I
more
haven't-
informative
yeah,
than anything.
so
Yeah.
I don't use it for any. Like, I'd never put my family on TikTok. It's very much. It's just literally just a headshot. It's just me answering a question, and I use it because it's just giving information. I'm really passionate about helping people who are in England and don't speak, English as their first
Yeah.
language. So I think sometimes when they do go through maternity, often they can get. They might miss some information or not get the correct information that they
Yeah.
needed. So sometimes people go along to appointments. They haven't always understood what's been said. Then they'll come back and they'll ask me, and I'm thinking, but you've just had a doctor's appointment or you've been to the hospital. But they won't ask what they don't understand. So when they ask me on TikTok, I just literally just do a short response.
Yeah.
So I do use it for that. I do scroll on there. I do see a lot of hate. I see a lot of negativity
Yeah.
on social media. So I think you do have to be careful. If you're putting your face out there, like Farida said, I agree. Don't put your family on there because
Yeah.
you just become a target and you just become something that people can just very easily tap into. And I've seen people share pictures of their family members. It just gets horrible.
It does.
And it's
It
really
does.
negative. So I'm trying not to get involved in any of that. I'm quite fortunate, and nothing like that has happened to me. It's quite a clean account.
Touch wood.
So-
I'm a bit like you, Sunita. I
Yeah.
keep business,
Yeah.
and I keep my personal life private.
Personal.
I don't post anything neither. Zahid, you was a former school teacher. What are your thoughts about mobile phones and children, especially now that the government's looking at banning phones in the schools?
Okay, I think that's a magnificent question, that is, for this show. Really, that's a top question. And as a secondary school teacher and working with young people, as I call them,
What school did you work in?
I worked in Wolverhampton. I worked in Heath Park. Then I went into Birmingham. That was interesting.
I bet.
Yeah. And then I went into even more interesting in Cannock. That was very, very interesting. That was very, very, very interesting. And then I moved back into Wolverhampton and did supply work. And, as you said, we said earlier on our last $1 plans, it was a plan to go around doing supply work as a maths teacher. And what's happened?
No, go on. Carry on.
So as a supply teacher, and I really learnt a lot from working as a supply teacher as well. Coming back to Alvina's very good question, is in schools they don't want young people to use mobile phones, right? And I was very conscious of that, because what if you give an opportunity to a young person, male or female, to pick out a phone in a class and make a video of live, it would be disastrous. So what a lot of the schools did, secondary schools, they would ask the people to put their phones away, or if they didn't, the phones were confiscated, and they were either given back to the child or young person at the end of the school, or it was given to the parents, right? Because, let's say, for example, I'm teaching and somebody's being silly. No disrespect to, everybody out there, but teaching in this country is very hard at the moment. Very hard. And if, for example, I'm teaching an hour of maths in a secondary school, I'll probably only teach about 15, 20 minutes. The rest of the time is dealing with behaviour management.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Distraction, isn't
So
it?
can you imagine, in that behaviour management, kids have got their phones out, and and as a teacher, sometimes you do lose it, and you do say, you'll have a shout, because nobody's listening, and can you imagine that? Oh, look at this teacher, is going a bit mad.
Yeah,
That kind of
yeah.
thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So realistically, very dangerous. I think there should be a ban.
Yeah.
As a teacher.
Well, I'm 53 now, so I went to school in the 80s, 90s, and we never had mobile phones.
No,
but
we didn't.
we come out well.
Yeah, we
True.
did.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I
So,
usually say, yeah.
I just don't get why we had only one dial phone in the house, and that was it. You didn't have
Absolutely.
phones to
Yeah.
travel from one place to another in your.
Right, okay, we're going to go straight to right, but we will conclude this topic very shortly, straight after. And if any of you want to take part, again, give us a call on 01902 972 150 or drop us a text on 074 404 20432, and we will see you right back.
Alvina, can you have a wave? It's okay.
Welcome back to not Ramadan Radio, Iman One Radio, which has transitioned from Ramadan Radio, Wolves, and you can listen to us 24/7, 365 days a year. Right, you are now listening to Loose Sisters, and joining me are Sunita Banga, Farida, Khalifa, and the lovely Zahid Shah, who are my panel guest members. And just before the break, we were talking about social media versus real life. So, guys, I want to sort of conclude this. We were talking, Zahid, you were talking about schools and thinking about putting a ban on children bringing phones. Is there anything you want to add before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I think what it is I think, stopping children bringing in, or young people bringing in phones is one thing, but the parents have to be educated that they've got to make sure that happens, because sometimes parents aren't strong enough nowadays with secondary school young people when it comes to ground rules. So I've found that in my teaching experience, Pareto's rule 80-20, that it was only 20% of parents were strict, 80% parents were just lackadaisical. They just weren't, interested in applying rules, and they wanted the school teachers to put the rules in. And I remember a wise person telling me once that if the rules aren't set at home, it doesn't matter what you do. It's not going to make any difference.
Right. Okay. So let's conclude today's topic with regards to social media versus real life. Now, obviously, we have seen highlights, which we do through all the platforms that are available, but we don't actually get to see behind the scenes. And that, I think, is important to remember. Right. Now, it is time, panel, to wake everyone up. What do you think? Being a Sunday.
Oh God,
being a Sunday. Yeah, we're going to play a game. And this is a rapid fire round. Now, you will find two paddles in front of you. One says agree in the green, one says disagree in the red. Okay. So, listeners at home, you can also play along to this. So, remember, this game needs no thinking. It's just your gut reaction. Okay. So, let's kick it off then. So let's go with the first statement. Okay, now either you can agree or disagree. So I'm going to read the statement out, guys, and I want you to tell me what your thoughts are. Now, if your faces gives anything away, we might dig a little deeper, so be careful. Okay, I'm watching. Okay, let's go. So, statement one. Marriage is harder now than it was for our parents.
Marriage is harder now than for our parents.
Let me help you, Frida. Remember we were talking about mobile phones, yeah?
Yeah.
And you were saying our lives were better without phones.
Yeah.
So now this question is about whether you're finding that marriage is harder now than it was for our parents. So think back to your parents.
Yeah.
And their marriage. How did you find it compared to yours?
Well, I love my marriage.
So would you say it's yours? So would you disagree then, or agree?
I would disagree.
Okay, so stick up disagree.
I disagree. Simply, I know I've got my reasons.
I tell you what, Frida's definitely said that with confidence, hasn't she? No hesitation whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, Zahid, what did you say to that statement?
It's harder. Is that right?
So you agree with the statement that marriage is harder?
It is harder
than what it is for our parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Zahid. Now, that's a sportsman mindset, I will say. Straight down in the middle, and our lovely Sunita.
I think it's harder for the women, to be honest, because my mum, for example, she only had to worry about being a wife and a mum. Whereas we now, I have to take, there's breakfast club, after school club, there's childcare, I've got to run a job, I've got to come home, I've got to contribute, I've got to cook, I've got to clean. I have to do everything in addition to what, not that my mum didn't do that, but I think we've got more tasks now, basically. I think it's a lot more pressure on the women. Yeah. So that's why I think marriage is harder. I think marriage is easy for the men.
Okay, Sunita, thanks for that. Now, that's a midwife wisdom, I will say. That's coming through, but calm, measured, and full of experience. Right, okay. Now, remember, before you answer your question, say whether you agree or disagree with it,
Can
okay?
I just say why I disagree?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Go on, Frida.
Right, the main reason why I disagreed was because I just think there's a lot of couples these days. They have a lot of love marriages. Years ago,
Yeah.
you just paired up with whoever your family wanted you to marry.
Yeah.
So there wasn't always the compatibility between the couple. So that's the reason why I honestly feel these days they haven't got the pressure of, oh, you've got to marry your cousin or you've got to marry your who we tell you to marry.
Yeah.
These days, we weren't even allowed to talk to other people, were we? In our time, I think these days they've got so much. Like they actually can be best friends. They could marry. We're our generation and the children that are coming up. They've got more of a friendship relationship with their parents.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So. Do you know where I'm coming from? The couples are more marrying
They know each other.
They know each other. They've got that social interaction. Years ago, you married a complete stranger.
Stranger, yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't know whether you were going to be compatible.
Yeah.
It was the luck of the draw.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's my take on it.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you. Did
Fri-
you want to say something, Zahid?
Yeah, I think Farida's made a magnificent point because I remember when I got married to my wife, who I've been married to now for 37 years, and
Mashallah.
mashallah,
Wow.
and I went to Pakistan. I mean, don't get me wrong, my missus, right? She's a beautiful looking woman, yeah. But when I first went to Pakistan, right, I remember my dad saying, he said, "What do you think of that girl over there?" And he goes, I said, "Why?" He goes, "What do you think?" I said, "I got no thoughts." And he goes, "Well, you better start liking it because you're marrying her next week."
In a week. Oh my God.
You know.
Zahid, you were brave. I remember when I was 7 years old, well, I had got a family member that had arranged me to get married to one of the cousins when I grew up. I was running for the hills.
Running for the hills. I love that.
No, but did you? Oh, I don't want to go off topic, but yeah.
Right. Okay, we could always bring this as a
Yeah.
main topic.
Yeah.
area. Okay, let's go into statement 3 then. Now, you should always put yourself first no matter what. Do you agree or disagree?
What's that?
You should always put yourself first no matter what.
Yes.
So Frida's agreeing, Zahid's agreeing, and Sunita's agreeing. Elaborate.
I think even though you're thinking about other people, you can't help other people unless you're in the fittest, healthy state that you can be in yourself. That's why I think if you're well enough, if you're putting everything into yourself first, only then can you help others. It's a bit like, on the flight, they always say, sort your own oxygen mask out first.
Yeah.
It's kind of that analogy, but that's why I think sort out, look after yourself first, then you're in your best able position to help everybody else.
I love that analogy. Say that again about the.
That's what they say when you're on a flight. The flight attendants, they always say to you, before you put in anybody else's oxygen mask in an emergency, put your own on first.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's so
That's where
great.
I'm coming from.
that
Straight
is
from the voice of reason.
brilliant. I
Absolutely.
love that,
Thank you.
Sunita.
It's not
it is.
mine, it's from most airlines.
Well, like I say, straight from the voice of reason there. So thank you, Sunita, for that. Farida, what's your thoughts on that you should always put yourself first no matter what?
Well, as you get on in life, you'll realise that if you don't look out for number one, nobody else will.
You know what? I knew that reaction was going to come before you even spoke, Farida.
I'm sorry. Selfishly, I've lived my life on my terms, my best life.
Yeah.
I've done everything that I've wanted to, even when the world has been against me. At one point, I was cancelled from my community. I was, but they all love me now.
No, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. Zahid, moving on to you.
I was going to say exactly what Farida just said, but also touch on the fact that if you're not 100% solid yourself, how can you do anything for anybody else? So you've got to look after number one first.
True. Okay. Moving on. I feel that answer came with competitive energy there then, Zahid. So thank you for that. Okay, right. Next statement. Money can buy happiness to a point. Agree or disagree? Oh, we've got 2 shows of disagree.
It's that bit when you said to a point that's making me
Oh,
decide which hand am I putting up.
Yeah.
but
the 2 point is getting me, but I'm gonna
I'm
gonna stick to my guns now.
Personally, me, I would disagree with the statement, but I'd love to see what you've got to say.
Money can
While
buy
Frida's still
happiness.
thinking, let's jump over to Sunita.
I think money cannot buy true happiness, because you can have all the money in the world, but unless you've got the other things that really matter dearly to you, that could be, true love, it could be your partner, it could be your children, it could be your health. Unless you've got all those other things that matter, having money in the bank is not going to help you in those other situations that build your real life. So that's why I think it's the root of all evil, actually.
Love it. I love it. Okay, Zahid?
Yeah, nah. It doesn't. Money doesn't buy you happiness at all, because when I see my grandkids, that's it. I'm happy. I don't need to, especially the little one, Zenny's little one. If he's watching, Qasim, how you doing? Right. Don't say anything about favourites, but yeah, I've got a favourite. Am I allowed to have a favourite?
You're not talking about favourites. Everyone should be your favourite.
They are, but there's one. But listen, what it is, you can't, and it's a route to all evil, right? And it doesn't buy happiness at all.
And what about Farida? Farida, you was undecided, weren't you?
I'm still 50-50.
That's fine. You could.
And I'm going to put the red and the green card out. I'm sorry.
50-50. That's fine.
Because without money, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I went to India, I remember seeing people living, a very sort of, they seem happier.
Yeah.
And yet they're living the village life. However, they get the contribution from overseas, that's what's helping them with their happiness, because they need feeding and, so money does kind of help, but not to the extreme that, you've got to have loads of it, because then that is the root to all evil.
Okay, last statement then. It's okay to cut people off to protect your peace.
100%.
What was the statement again?
I didn't think twice about that.
It's okay to cut people off to protect your peace.
Oh, 100%.
So we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Get rid of anything that messes with your peace.
Well,
when people, if you give your energy to negative people, it just grows. That's why I think you have to protect yourself and just cut people off. I've had to back off from people, really, friends and family. I've done it respectfully. I've done it nicely. I haven't, I've not fallen out with them.
Yeah.
But sometimes when people are not bringing you joy anymore and they're not serving your life any purpose, it's okay. You can outgrow people.
Yeah.
I think it's a wise decision sometimes to just step away from some people respectfully.
Oh, wow, guys. When Sunita speaks firmly, we know it's serious. Okay, Farida?
What was that, love?
It's okay to cut people off.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just a firm believer in protecting your peace.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything that doesn't align with you. Now, that's quite a difficult one, because I have had, people that have reached out to me and explained to me that they've got very toxic family, as in parents.
Yeah.
Parents that are on drugs or alcohol and in Islam, we always recommend that your mum is the key to your heaven.
Of course.
So it's a bit of a contradictory one, but equally, it's very important to protect your peace.
Definitely. I feel social media is about to have a new debate with you on that one, Farida. Away from the show. Zahid.
Oh, God, I forgot what we were saying.
Okay, I'll tell you what. We best not let you stir the pot with that one. Let's move on to the next question.
Move on to the next one.
All right, panel. So thank you to take part in this. Now, I found it might be a bit too revealing with the answers, but I feel like we've learned more in 5 minutes than we planned through the whole show. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but that for me was good. I got to find out the inner selves about you. Right, let's move on to the next topic. Now, that it's about workplace well-being and burnout. Now, for me, this is a big one. Burnout. So many of us are juggling work, family, and responsibilities, trying to still have life somewhere in between. Now, we hear about self-care all the time, but it isn't always bubble baths. Sometimes it's setting boundaries or saying no without guilt. So how can workplaces better support well-being?
Can I start on that one?
Yes, of course you can.
I think what it is that workplaces make it out that they're going to support you, but they give you that kind of false sense of security that they're going to support you, but they still want blood out of a stone, right?
Yeah.
And I think Farida mentioned something about working with young people and even with the grown-ups now, and looking at certain challenges and challenging behaviours and how to deal with it. And she mentioned something along the lines of, doing a job. It's enjoying doing the work more than just having.
Passion.
And it's a passion, isn't it? And I'm all for that as well. Do you know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
don't think if, for example, you don't step back sometimes at work, you can actually it can actually take over, and it's taken over with me a number of times where I just haven't. I've neglected my family because of work, because you're trying to stay in a job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like the way you use the word step back. So, how do you recognize burnout early on?
It's a great question. How you recognise burnout is when you start having niggling little arguments with the family for no reason. You're tired, you're ratty, and then your wife turns around and says, "What's the problem? Why are you acting all funny?" And the kids will turn around and say, "Dad, you're not normally like this. What's wrong?" And then you think, it's work. I've got to step back, and that's when you decide, look, I've got to take a few days off work. Let's get away from Wolverhampton, or you don't have to leave the country, but just let's go down London, book a hotel, and have a little bit of a chill
Yeah.
pill,
Little break.
and then come back. Do you know what I mean? Things like that.
So when you talk about burnout, are you talking about mental health? You're talking about stress, and the impact that when you come home, and
You-
the tension that you're faced with.
The biggest burnout issue for any human being is stress, because stress burns you out quicker than anything
Yeah.
else. It's like a log fire, and you just put a bit of petroleum on there. That's what stress does. Stress is dangerous and really messes you up. And I've learned this with experience that when you're stressed, you can't even think properly, can you? You just
Yes.
you go all foggy, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
To be honest, I'm a firm believer in trying not to stress. I don't believe in stressing, and that's the
I can
truth.
see that.
Can you?
Yeah.
I've got a very carefree
Yeah,
sort
you
of
have.
attitude,
You have
and
to
that's
be,
probably
yeah.
my mum always taught us. That it's really important because stress can lead to lots of illnesses.
It does.
And serious illnesses. And
Yes.
is it really worth it?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always like, what is the point?
Oh, we've got a caller. Let me just get that. Hello, you're tuned into Iman Radio.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum salam, sister. And how are you?
Good afternoon and Ramadan Mabruk to everyone. Alhamdulillah. And Shabnam's back.
Oh, welcome, Shabnam. I thought I recognised the
Khair
voice.
Mubarak.
How can we help?
Alhamdulillah. I believe you're talking about stress.
Yes.
Right. My input on stress is do not stress. Stress is a killer. I would say it's important to prioritize what's important for that day. That's what stresses people out. You're trying to do way too much. You got to look after your mental health, because if you don't, Allah has given us this one life. Live it. Do what makes you happy in life. Whether it's traveling, whether it's teaching, whether it's sitting at home and enjoying your home. Stress is the biggest killer. I can openly discuss. I'm a mental health nurse myself. It's important to look after my own mental health. So therefore, stressing about things, what do you achieve away from making yourself unwell? Why would you want to do that? So you've got to look at what you put in place in order for you to live a stress-free day. Put into, like, for example, I would say with myself, I know how my day is. I know how busy my day is. So what's important for today? Right. So I wake up in the morning. What I do, I pray. Then you set off to go to work. Work is the most stressful part of your day, I would say, but learn how to prioritize even your workplace, what you need to do, delegate, um, have little micro breaks. That's really important. And in life, you've got to enjoy it. Otherwise, we hear stories all the time about individuals who've had heart attacks. Yeah, it might be health contributing factor, or but a lot of the time it's people who have gone through trials and tribulations, don't reach out. Next thing you know, something has happened, and I just all I wanted to ring up and say was, look after yourself. Don't stress. It's not worth it. Prioritize, like I said, your day, and enjoy it, because Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has given us this one life. Live it in a halal way, and
Thank
enjoy
you.
it.
Thank you.
Enjoy it. That's my motto. Love, live, and smile, and keep it halal.
Thank you. You're taking the words out of Farida's mouth there. Thank you so much, Sister Shabnam, for calling
Take
in.
care.
And you look after yourself as well.
Jazakallah khairan.
Thank
And
you.
all of the panel
Thank you.
doing what you're doing, inshallah.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam, Shabnam, sis.
Right, okay, that was Sister Shabnam there. Now, she mentioned things about, obviously, stress and how you can overcome certain things. So what does self-care look like then? Taking time out, she talked about.
Yeah, self care. Self care is first of all, as a Muslim, self care is doing your 5 prayers a day. That's self care, because when you go into that mode where you do your wudu and you do your fajr,
Yeah, resetting.
You're resetting, aren't you?
Yeah.
So that's self care, isn't
I'm
it?
really appreciative of my workplace. They always allow me to do my salats
That's good.
at work, which even the adults that we look after, they really appreciate it as well, and I appreciate them. So for me, that's like a bit of a reset every day, but just sort of having boundaries for yourself, you know, and knowing, you know, when it's just too much. You go out for a meal, do nice things, you know.
Absolutely.
Go for a pamper spa day, go for a swim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to look after our health, go for walks, do the gym. This is all self-care, you know, pampering, having date nights with your other half.
Yeah.
You know, it's important with your
Okay.
children.
Yep. So there you go. So some tips and advice there regarding to self-care. Now, let's conclude this topic. I'm going to quickly touch on another one. Now, sometimes obviously self-care is simply setting boundaries, like Farida said, and saying no. That's more important. Saying no. It's very powerful, that is. Right. Okay. Now, I want to go into community and belonging. Now, community means different things to different people: culture, faith, family, friendships. But balancing tradition and modern life can sometimes feel challenging. So one thing I love about our community is a sense of togetherness. But balancing tradition and modern life can sometimes feel like a tightrope. Now, I truly believe there's strength in embracing who we are while honouring where we come from. So, how can communities be more inclusive?
When you say community or communities, what are we talking?
Diverse communities. How can they be more inclusive
Inclusive of what?
with whatever's happening with regards to culture, faith, family, friendships, what's happening in the community? For example, the setting up of Iman 1. How can we get communities to be more inclusive in things?
Go for it, Sunita.
Yeah, I think you've just got to be open. I think you've got
Yeah.
to be a role model yourself.
Yeah.
Because our children, you know, younger people, they're watching us. Even me being on this show, I'm not Muslim, but
Yeah.
I you know, I felt really happy and included last year, and I've been
Yeah.
welcomed back this year.
Yeah.
And that's quite important, because that's how I can also share what I learn about Ramadan and the Islamic faith, I share that with the the NHS. So I talk to them about women that are fasting in pregnancy. And I always bring it back to pregnancy, but that's my every day. That's
true.
my,
It's good.
yeah. But I think I'm very open to learning from other cultures.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard to work with the black community in Wolverhampton as well. I struggled with that when I initially started. Obviously, I'm not black. It's a bit harder to break into building that trust with people.
Yeah.
But I've been working with a wonderful charity in Wolverhampton. They're called the ACCI. So that's the Afro-Caribbean Community
Yep, I
Initiative.
know them.
And, we've done events together. And it just helps. Unless I'm not going to change my way and reach out and work with different communities and different people, then people are not going to open up to me either. So I think my biggest thing on that really is just to be open and welcoming and sharing, really, isn't it? I'll share my information, knowledge, customs, religion, practice, and I learn from others and they share the same.
Yeah, I think that's where the strength comes from, in embracing who we are while honouring where we come from. And where Sunita's touched on about being inclusive is, yes, this is Iman One Radio, and the whole point of us is being diverse and getting other communities, other people on board and talk about their obviously perspectives compared to how we, the Muslim faith, do things as well. So we get a bit of understanding, there's a bit of diverseness and inclusiveness. That's more important. Now, I love how honest this panel has always been. Wisdom mixed with a little bit of mischief in between. Zahid, Shah. Today just reminded me why these conversations matter. Sharing experiences, laughing together and learning from each other. So today just reminded me also about how a few of us have had a few laughs along the way as well. So thank you to the amazing panel, Sunita, Farida and Zahid, for bringing honesty, warmth and personality to the studio today. And thank you for listening on Iman One and joining us online. We love being part of your Sunday morning. Remember, no matter what this year brings, be kind to yourself and each other. And stay open-minded and keep those conversations going. I'm Alvina Ali, and this has been Loose Sisters. We'll catch you next Sunday at 11 a.m. for more real talk, real stories, and real opinions. Until then.